Don't spend another dollar or waste another weekend on football camps until you watch this entire video. A camp invite doesn't mean the coach is recruiting your son. In most cases, it's just a marketing tool, unless your son knows how to flip it. That's exactly what our athletes do and why 89% of them earn scholarships and turn invites into real offers. So in this video, I'm sharing the full process step by step so you can do the same. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Richie Contartesi. I earned a D1 football scholarship at just 5'7", 150 pounds, and now I coach families and athletes to do the same. So there's three core things that I'm going to cover. Number one, what to say when you get an invite. Number two, how to follow up if they don't respond. And three, what to say once you get them on a call before the camp. Like I'm gonna actually give you the actual script that we use on the phone call, as well as the exact templates to use on how to respond. So let's jump right into it. Obviously, this is gonna be big. It's gonna save you a ton of time and money, right? The most important thing is to save you time. So many people travel around camps, like they spend their whole summer and they get no offers. Coaches don't hear from them. They never hear from them again, and it's a giant waste of time. So the second thing I wanna make a big point here is we wanna use this as an opportunity to build relationships with coaches before traveling to camps. Like, use the camp invite as a marketing tool for you. Like typically it's a marketing tool for them, but you can use it for you, right? And that's why we're gonna flip it upside down. And then three, you wanna confirm there's actual interest before you go to a camp, or else it's a giant waste of time, unless you're 6'5" or you run a 4.3 40. If you have two of those things and you're gonna completely look like way different than anyone else out there, then go to the camp, right? So the initial response that you're going to send, once you get the invite, this is what you're going to say back to them. Coach, make sure you put their last name. Do not put their first name. Do not put just coach. Make sure you put their last name. Thank you so much for inviting me to the camp at, make sure you put in their school. Don't put the brackets in school. Make sure you put the name of their school. I'm really interested in the program and I definitely want to attend the camp, but I have a few questions before making the blank trip. So the purpose of this right here is, one, you want to talk about how excited you are. Two, you want to show them like, hey, I'm really interested, but I also don't want to make a 4-hour drive or a 3-hour drive. We had somebody that was going to do a 20-hour drive. And we're like, what are you doing? Let them know. It's real. It makes them feel like, okay, like if I'm serious about this player and they're going to make a 6-hour drive for this, like I'm going to respond, right? So before making the 4-hour trip or however long, do you have a minute for a quick call? My number is, put your cell phone number. You can quick call me or let me know when you're free. I'm excited for the opportunity. Again, super excited for the opportunity. I want to go, but I just want to make sure this is the right fit for me before I drive 6 hours. Do you have a minute for a quick call? Most people get a camp invite and they're like, yeah, I'll be there. And they think it's like an actual invite, and it's not, right? They're just part of an email blast that they got their contact information from a software they use internally. In most of these programs, it's called ARMS, right? So they could just get their contact information once your high school coach uploads it, right? So just be wary of that. And that's the response that you're gonna get. Now, the second thing of this is, well, what if the coach doesn't respond? And that's why we have to have follow-up messages. And these follow-up messages are gonna be different depending on if you're a freshman or a sophomore versus if you're a junior or a senior, right? If you're the parent of a high school football player who wants to earn a college football scholarship and your son is struggling with marketing himself or confidently communicating with college coaches, I wrote this book specifically for you. Inside it, I share exactly how I earned a Division I football scholarship in the SEC at just 5'7" and 150 pounds, without going to camps, being ranked, and without any connections. And right now, I'd like to give you a copy completely free. All I ask is that you just cover shipping. I'll drop a link below so you can grab your copy before we run out. So if you're fresh, and the reason being is because context matters. If you're a junior or senior, depending on when it is, right? Like you don't have time to waste. You've got to get to the point. Younger guys, it's all about relationships. It's always all about relationships. Younger guys, it's not do or die, right? So we want to be a little bit more cognizant of that. And we have a little bit more of, wiggle room, I think is the better word there. So for freshmen and sophomores, give it a week. As you can see here, follow up a week later. Coach last name, thank you again for the camp invite. Definitely excited about it. Of course, and I'm sure you can understand, I'm trying to make smart decisions about which camps to attend for travel purposes. Are you available for a quick call to discuss your camp and the opportunity? My number is blank, blank, blank. All right. So again, it's a little bit lighter. It still goes back to I'm trying to make smart decisions about travel arrangements. So we're still hitting on the point, but we're not being overly aggressive, right? Juniors and seniors a little different, right? Coach, last name. I'm really interested in your program and want to know if I'm someone your staff is seriously evaluating and recruiting. Because sometimes, depending on who the area coach is, it could be them or someone else. Totally respect your time either way. Just want to make sure there's genuine interest before the family and I make the 5-hour trip. Any coach that has any kind of care in the world is going to respond to you, right? This email on the follow-up, we have a very, very high response rate. And the reason being is because we're very clear on the fact we're excited, that we're interested, but we also don't want to make a 75-hour trip, right? For nothing. There's no real interest. And so they get that, and we get a lot of responses with that, okay? So, and I just want you to know, I put here 1 week later, like you need to be following up 3, 4, 5 times with this same message in the same email chain or the same message chain. Do not send separate emails for every single follow-up, or then it won't matter, right? So whatever the initial invite they sent you, let's say it's an email. If it's a DM, it's all in the same DM thread. If it's an email, you respond to that email and then you follow up by replying to that exact same email so they could see all of your follow-ups. Because when they see, okay, this person's reached out to me 4 times over the course of 4 weeks, they're more apt to respond, right? So, actually, just like Brady here, let me throw this message up here where you can see this is an SEC football coach, by the way. It took 5 follow-ups before we got a positive message back. So just to show you an example of it takes time and it takes follow-up, right? So don't worry about, am I making the coach mad? Am I not making the coach? If you're rude, yeah, you'll make the coach mad. If you're just following up, a lot of times coaches say, oh, you know what? It got buried. Thanks for following up. They're actually like thankful for it. So make sure to definitely follow up. And this is how you can do it based on what grade you're in. All right. Now, here's a couple examples. Let's review some, right? So when coaches do respond to you, how do you know if they're serious? So here's a couple of the most common examples we get, right? Real interest. Hey, Johnny, great to hear from you. Yes, we've seen your film and like what you bring to the table. You're someone we're tracking for the 26th class. Let's hop on a call. I'm free after practice tomorrow around 6:30 p.m. Sounds good? This is actually a response one of our players got. But just to show you, like, this is an example of a coach that's really interested, right? They're willing to get on a call. They respond back to you. They even gave you a time. Like, this is real interest. You should be really excited. And one of our players was ecstatic because he got this exact response, actually. So really good stuff. All right, example 2. Appreciate you reaching out. Best way to get evaluated is to come to compete at camp. We'll be looking at all the guys who show up. So what it means, generic response, no relationship, probably not worth the investment. Unless you run like a 4.3 40 or you're 6'5" and you jump 45-inch vert, and you're just going to be a complete and utter standout. Then you should continue to do outreach to college coaches, continue to, make sure you're tracking at schools and reaching out to schools that actually fit the criteria of the grade where you're at right now. You've gotten a professional evaluation of your game film, and like, hey, I'm a D2 player right now, or I'm an FCS player, or I'm a G5. You know what level you are, and you're reaching out to those correct coaches. You're going to get more invites. You're going to get more responses like this one right here. Those are the camps that you want to go to, right? If you're like, let's say you got a professional evaluation, you're graded as a Division II player and reaching out to G5 programs and you're getting this message, you're going to waste your time going to that camp, right? It's just, unless something miraculous happens, and again, you run like a 4.3 or you're 6'5", 300 pounds, and you're throwing defensive linemen around like rag dolls, or you're like Aaron Donald at the camp, it's not going to do anything, right? So I know I beat that, but I just, example 3. Thanks for the message and interest, Johnny. Right now we're focusing on up on our 2026 class, so we're not evaluating 2027s yet. Might be a better fit for next summer. So obviously this is a not now, respectful and clear. You save time and money. Now you know, right? So a lot of people don't know, like, don't know that these coaches are really only evaluating this class. They're in a different class, and now they just went to this camp and wasted a bunch of time, right? And I don't want you to waste your time, right? It's the most valuable commodity that you have is your time. And as a parent, like, I don't want you to waste your time. So really, really important here to know like the different types of responses and to make sure you get communication with the coaches beforehand. Now, the next thing that this leads to is, Richie, well, this is all good, but what do I say when I do get the coach on the phone? Don't worry, we already have this whole call mapped out for you. Now, this is a high level kind of overview of what this is. And most of what we teach our athletes is not word for word scripting. And the reason being is because even the top best salespeople train script word for word sales reading. It's not going to go well, right? And so the way we work with our athletes is we give them what I call, scripts, but really guides, right, of what to do and questions to ask, critical questions to ask, because those you could read word for word. But if you're reading like a paragraph, it's going to be really, really hard. And the coaches are going to be like, this is robotic. And the last thing we want is for the coaches to think they're robotic. We want them to really be focusing on building a relationship with them. And you can't be robotic if you're building a relationship with a coach, right? And so what we do is we kind of give them guidelines, questions to ask, and then we get on one-on-ones with our athletes and we coach them through it. We hold them accountable to doing it. We role play with them over and over and over and over again so that by the time they get on the call with the coach, they're confidently communicating, they're ready to go. And coaches feel that. Coaches want players that are confident, that believe in themselves, that are going to come and make an impact on their team. And so we role play with them over and over again. And that's why when they get on the call, they're able to make the call really powerful, go to the camp, crush it, and then turn that camp invite into an offer, right? So, because at the very end of this, I'll share one last bonus thing you can do, really, really key at the end of this call to set it up so you can ask for the offer at the camp. Because you're going to ask for the offer at the camp. You're not going to let it go by the wayside. Why? Because the coach knows who you are beforehand. They've got to know you a little bit. They're going to follow you on social media. You're posting consistently because you do what I teach, right? And for the athletes we mentor, we hold them accountable and they always post. This is why. The coach is going to follow you after this call. They're going to watch you. They're going to get to know you a little bit. You're going to get on a phone call with them. They're going to watch your film. You're going to go to the camp. You're going to continue to build a relationship with them. Really important. Then at the end, you're going to have what I'm going to teach you at the end. You're going to do something at the end. You're going to ask for the offer and you're going to leave the camp with the offer. Okay? So it's really important you follow these steps. But let's talk about the call. Coach, make sure to say their last name. It's really important. Thanks again for jumping on the phone. I really appreciate the invite to your camp and your time today. It means a lot. Okay? Straightforward. I've been learning more about, make sure you say their school and your program. I really like the way you guys play and how you develop players. What's something you guys are really looking for in a player as a receiver, in a player at my position, but whatever your position is? They're going to say, oh, we're looking for, Okay, perfect. What's one thing I should focus on this offseason to improve as a player? Really important. You want to get an idea of, did they watch your film, right? And are they giving you tangible feedback on that film? Really important. It's going to tell you what you need to know about how far along they are in the recruiting process with you and how much they like you. This is really important for you preparing for the camp. And the last question is, as for your program, am I currently being evaluated or am I currently on your board? Where do I stand at this point? The way you ask that question is really important. You want to ask it as one question, essentially. But basically, you're gonna find out right now, are you on their board? Where do you stand in the process? Which is obviously really critical, because if they say, hey, you're not on our board right now, we're kind of full. We already have, our 26s at the linebacker position offered and committed. Now, you need to know that, right? Or you're gonna waste a lot of time and money, right? So we don't want you to do that. So this is gonna tell you everything you need to know. And it's a nice way of asking it after you've asked the other questions to kind of warm up. And you'll find out by now, did they watch your film? How much have they watched? Do they really like you? And are you on their board? And where do you stand? Critical. Really, really important. Thanks. You end it with, thanks again, coach. I'm excited to keep building this relationship and hopefully earn the opportunity to compete for you in the future. They're gonna be like, yeah. And then when you're leaving, this is the bonus, okay? Before you hang up the call, you say, coach, real quick, at the end of the camp, would it be okay if I just spent 1 to 2 minutes with you and just got your feedback on the camp itself? And what's going to happen is that coach is going to say yes. And now at the end, you're going to, obviously when you get to the camp, you're going to go up, you're going to shake the coach's hand. Of course, really, really critical and important. You're going to talk to him for a little bit. You're going to go, you're going to ball out at the camp. He's going to be watching you. And then at the end of the camp, you say, hey coach, remember when I got to bring it back up. Remember when we were on the phone and I asked you if it was okay if we spent 1 to 2 minutes and you gave me feedback? I'd love to get your feedback, coach. Then he gives you your feedback and you're like, coach, I know this. Now you can reference back to where you are. Here's where I'm at on the board, right? Here's where you told me I'm at on the board. Based on the camp, where am I now? And he'll tell you like, hey, we got you here. We're really, really interested. And then you can go in and you can ask for the opportunity. You can ask for the offer. And it's really, really simple. And it's, coach, I'm really excited about XYZ school. What do I need to do in order to get an offer? And there's nothing wrong with asking that because you've done everything to this point. It's not just some random coach that you've never talked to, not some random coach you didn't put effort into. You've done all of these steps. You got the invite, you reached out to the coach. You got the coach on the phone. They watched your game film. You had a great phone conversation with them. You got to the camp. You shook his hand. You talked to him for a little bit. You balled out at the camp. At the end of the camp, you referenced back to your phone call. On that reference back to your phone call, you asked them where you're at on the board. You're still high up on the board. You even did a great job. You're even better on the board. It's not out of the ordinary for you to ask for the offer. What would be awful is if you got there, you went to the camp, at the end you said, hey coach, can I get some feedback? You gave some feedback and you asked for the offer. That would probably not be ideal, right? The coach is going to give you a dishonest answer if anything, right? Unless you just completely like, again, you ran a 4.3 and you're 6'5" and you're jumping over people in one hand and catching and all that, like then nah, it doesn't matter, right? Other than that, like this is the path that you can take to get an offer from a camp. And guys, this isn't that hard, but there's a big difference between simple and easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. And that's why the athletes that we work with, we role play with them. We teach them how to market themselves. We teach them how to sell themselves, right? Because these like we're showing you the questions that you're gonna ask. These coaches are gonna ask you questions. You gotta be able to sell yourself, right? And then it's how to confidently communicate. You confidently communicate by practice. And you practice by role playing these exact types of conversations throughout the entire recruiting process, right? This is just one small little step throughout the entire process. And you have to role play and get good and practice at every single step if you want to be successful. Now, I put together an entire training with all the different templates and all the different scripts and the bonus and everything we talked about into one simple doc that you can use in order to turn camp invites into scholarship offers. I'll leave a link below this description where you can get it, of course, completely free. And if you got value from this video and you'd like to watch more videos just like it, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. And if you want to watch my video on choosing which camps to go to, then you're going to want to watch this video right here.